What's up, guys? It's your boy Ace, and today we're going to be talking about 3 things you need to be doing on the defensive side of the ball to have some success in shutting down offenses. Now, it's no secret that defense is actually pretty hard right now for a variety of reasons. You have pretty terrible zones, especially deep zones. The user right now isn't the user of years prior where you could just run around and cover half the field on your own because of the new movement systems, specifically in next gen. It's really hard to user, and that's kind of making it hard to do things that we've done before. So I want to talk about the 3 different things that will help you at the beginning of the year have some success and kind of mitigate your risk on defense. Now, before I get into the video, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section what you like about Madden 22. I'd like to get a little bit of positivity. Let's hear what you guys like. We can have plenty of other videos where we talk about what we don't like, but I want to see if you guys actually like anything about the game as of right now. So let's get into the video. So what we're going to do is talk about keeping your coverage backed off. So cover 3 sky out of nickel normal will just come out on any play. And this year, if you press, you're not going to get a perfect illustration of this from me in practice mode because practice mode is different. But if you're a MUT player, you have already experienced this. If a player simply has a streak versus your cornerback could technically be faster than the receiver, and he will actually get beat. So you're not going to see that here. Aguilar and Dean are, I believe, are at the same speed. But you're going to have to just either take my word for it or see it for yourself. Pressing this year is not the best idea if you do not have a significant speed advantage, at least on MUT. I have not played regs at all. I've only been playing MUT. And my reason for saying this is I really just don't want to see you guys give up easy touchdowns. What you can do if you really like the press look is you can press and then, for instance, back this cornerback off a little bit. This will make it a little bit less soft, and this will make it so your guy doesn't get outran for a 1-play touchdown. This guy over here, he doesn't have a receiver over there. At least as of right now, there's no motion. He can be pressed. It's totally fine. The main thing is to make sure that your cornerback does not get cooked off the line. So right here, this is like a, 4-yard cushion. I say anywhere from 3 to 5 yards is totally cool. But I just wanted to point that out, that you can either learn the easy way or you can learn the hard way. I learned the hard way. You guys are free to learn the hard way too. But my recommendation is keep everything in front of you. Don't give up the easy 1-play touchdowns on the outside. I mean, it's literally a layup for some of these offenses just to throw it up to like Tyreek Hill on MUT. Okay, so that's going to be tip number 1. Okay, for number 2, we're going to be talking about knowing the weaknesses of the zone that you pick. So Tampa 2 is kind of a hot topic right now because Tampa 2 is in really bad shape because of deep halves. But what I'm going to show you is what's bad about Tampa 2 and how you can kind of fix it. So Tampa 2, very popular play call against a really good play, which is posts. So going back to what we did with cover 3, I would recommend pressing and then maybe backing this guy off just to make it look like it might be the cover 3. And then what we'll do, just for this example, we're going to spy these guys, and we're just going to snap post stock. And you're going to see what happens is we get a very easy touchdown. There's a couple reasons for this happening. Number 1, this tight end over here is making this deep half go way too wide. Now, this is not something that, wasn't in the game. Last year, corner routes would pull deep halves to the same side of the field, but he's going way too wide. You see how between the safeties, there's like, I don't even know how many yards that is. Maybe like 50, maybe not 50, but 30, 40 yards between the two. Look how wide that gap is. I could literally throw this ball like at any point for the next 4 seconds and still have it open for a touchdown. Why else is that happening? This mid-read was actually pretty good last year. He's absolutely awful. He needs to be opening his hips to the strong side and being ready for any kind of route that's going to threaten the biggest weakness of a cover 2, which is the deep middle of the field. This guy's doing nothing. Like literally, he's sitting right here doing nothing. He's just coded to drop 10 yards and then stand there. Really what he needs to be doing is matching to the post, but he doesn't. So here's how we're going to disguise that. Or not disguise it, but here's how we're going to adjust. So press, do the same thing you've been doing, and then what you're going to do is put this guy in a deep blue. That's not an uncommon adjustment. I'm not 200 IQ for putting this on the field, but this is something, in my opinion, if you're going to run any kind of cover two, you need to have this on your field because it's going to prevent big plays consistently. It's okay if people, throw in the middle of the field. They might get 5 to 10 yards, maybe a little bit more, but that's okay. The last thing you want to give up is a one-play touchdown. So put this guy in a deep blue. It kind of turns your cover two into a cover three of sorts. And then what you're going to notice is, let me go ahead and get on a D lineman. What you're going to notice this time is that the deep middle of the field is actually somewhat covered. Now, it's not the greatest thing in the world, mainly because he turns his back for no reason, but he's still there. He might discourage the throw, but you're going to notice right here. Why is his back turned? The receiver isn't past you yet, and he's already turning his back. And that basically what that allows is a throw. As soon as his back turns, you could throw it, maybe lowball it, and that's going to allow a catch because this guy has to turn around, locate the receiver and the ball. And then, he could have maybe knocked this ball loose or something. Maybe you click on and maybe make a play. But overall, it's still not the best, but it's way better than mid-read because he's defending this deep part of the field and kind of mitigating your risk a little bit. So that is my number one recommendation if you want to run cover two. I do run cover two sometimes. I just make sure I make that adjustment. Now, cover three, another popular defense. Well, what's really good versus cover three? We just talked about a bomb yesterday. I recommend watching that video if you guys want a one-play touchdown versus cover three and cover two. And it's out of Pat's Verts. Let me go ahead and respot the ball. And let me show you one of the main weaknesses of a cover three. The main problem with cover three right now is that the seams are really weak, especially against beaters. And I'll explain that in a second. So right here, boom, there's our one-play touchdown. Go check out that video. I posted it yesterday. But really what's happening here is the safety is rotating from the opposite side of the field. And that makes it really hard for him to catch up to this receiver that's going down the seam. You would think that this guy might be able to cover him, but the thing is he's already feeling threatened by this wheel, and that's why he turns around and hesitates for just a second before realizing, oh shit, this guy's going to run right by me, and it's a one-play touchdown. So how can you prevent this? How do you prevent this from happening to you? There's a couple things you can do. First of all, you can move this guy over. Always make sure this deep blue is on the same side as the bunch. And what you're going to notice, I think it might have still have a small window, but we're going to see in a second. Not really. He actually covers him pretty well. So that's going to be the number one adjustment, is making sure that third is on the bunch side of the field instead of having to rotate all the way from the opposite side of the field. The other thing you can do, if you just need to keep this guy over here, maybe the ISO bunch receiver or the ISO receiver out of gun bunch is threatening you with a post or something, you can just man up the seam and do something like this, and then maybe go user the flats yourself. So let's go ahead and press, keep this guy backed off a little bit. And then what you're going to notice is your opponent's going to be thinking, oh man, I have the easiest one-play touchdown of my life. He's going to snap this setup and he's going to realize, oh shit, he's manned up. So this is the two biggest weaknesses of cover two and cover three that you need to account for. Do not let people have easy touchdowns between your safeties in cover two, and then do not let them have easy touchdowns from the seam in cover three. Let's move on to our third tip. So the third thing is going to be, you need to have a good, well-balanced formation that's good for, shedding, which is just sending 3 or 4. You need to have, a decent amount of pressure. So maybe when you send 5 or 6, and then it needs to be able to hold up in the run game. So a formation I highly recommend that you use is nickel normal. You can find it in a ton of different playbooks. And you can really just use any play for this example. What I'm going to show you is what you can do to get pretty good pressure sending 5. And then I'll show you that the sheds are pretty good. But here's what I like to do for my actual adjustments. Let's go ahead and respot the ball to make it a little bit more realistic. A-slot users will use the wide side of the field. So what we're going to do here is pinch our defense, so RB or R1, and then left stick down. And what that does, it'll pinch your defensive line, it'll pinch your linebackers, and it's going to press your cornerbacks. So right here, we can move him back a little bit, make sure we don't get bombed on the left side of the field. And then what I like to do is crash your D-line up, D-pad left, right stick up. It's going to change their angles. It didn't show them changing their angles, but they did change. Okay. And then what I like to do is you can blitz either one of these linebackers, and you're going to use the opposite side. So let's go ahead and blitz Devin White, and then I'll just go ahead and use David. So all you're going to do is just snap the ball, and then boom. Oh, the guy actually got tripped up. But usually what's going to happen is Shaq Barrett's going to come free. He's actually going to come more free if you send the other linebacker. So let me just send David this time. And it's very easy to set up. Don't forget to back this guy off. And then you're going to see, boom, boom, boom. There's Shaq Barrett. He comes free off the edge. It's a 5-man rush. 1 comes free versus 5. It's pretty good. It's also balanced. You're going to be able to shoot inside zone. And overall, I recommend it. It's a pretty good formation. Now, if you really want, you can send 6 too. You can also just send 4, which is actually really good shed D. Shaq Barrett got tripped up a little bit. But if you want to, like, for instance, move in this cornerback, you can, if you really want to. And then maybe blitz this guy. And then crash your D-line up. Move this guy back if you have the time to do it. Moving this cornerback in does take quite a bit of time. So if somebody quick snaps you, you might not have time to be making that adjustment. But I just want to show you that, you can, in fact, send 6. And he got tripped up, but we would have had both edges coming in free. So I recommend, just kind of mixing it up a little bit. I would say the 5-man rush is the best thing you can do. And then as far as the shed defense, let me go ahead and show you the shed defense, which is the 4-man rush. You're going to be doing the exact same adjustments, but you're going to just not blitz the linebacker. So just crash your D-line up, and that's it. You're already set up, at least against this formation. And then use whatever linebacker you want to use. That's up to you. I feel pretty safe from this seam over here. I feel like this hook and this seam flat are going to do a pretty good job over there. And I'll just go ahead and use this hook zone. I'll be ready for like a tight end seam or something. All right, so boom, boom. Here's the running back angle route, and our pressure is already in. In my opinion, this is one of the best shed Ds you can be using in the game right now. I can do a bigger breakdown of this formation, show you some creative things you can do. If you'd like that, let me know in the comment section that you want to maybe get a defensive scheme out of nickel normal. I can maybe work on that. But as of right now, these are 3 things that I feel like you need to have some success on defense in Madden 22. Use nickel normal, keep your defense somewhat backed off, and then if you want to use cover 2 or cover 3, make sure that you really help your defense out and prevent them from exploiting the main weakness of those defenses. So that's going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was maybe a little bit lengthy, very wordy, but I hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like if you did. Subscribe for daily Madden 22 content. I will see you guys tomorrow.